Hello, my name is Bradley, and I'm your host of The Internal Game. As promised, the next teachings for a little while are going to be from the ebook Presence-Based Identity. I want to let you guys know that ebook is for people who are done chasing the reflection, who are done trying to force things to happen, who are done going back to old story and reacting and living in anxiety and fear and overthinking, right? Because this is happening because your nervous system is dysregulated and you have bought into uh, basically thought about self that is just not true. Okay, so in this book, we're going to go over how to return back to this, how to return back to what you are. And I wanted to prime these next teachings with a video about the nervous system. So, the importance of regulating your nervous system is you're going to go back to a calm base. Okay, you're not going to be reactive. You're not going to be overthinking. You're not going to be buying into a bunch of thought that, like, oh my gosh, what if this happens? And you're not going to be like seeing threat all the time. Okay. Now, there's no beliefs that you have to change. There's no digging up past moments that you have to figure out where it came from and what do I got to do next and flip this thought to this because this is more an ideal identity now. What you're going to do is you're going to return to what it is that you are. And when you do this, whatever is unconscious in you is going to rise. When it rises, you can become conscious of it and decide to let it go and no longer identify with it, right? But until then, we get stuck in the reactivity, right? And that every time we react, just like I've been talking about, we re-identify or stay identified with what it is that we say that we don't want to experience. If we don't regulate the nervous system, we are going to continue living in anxiety, fear-based thinking of the future. What if this happens? What does this mean? Assigning shit meaning to things. Living fearful, drained emotionally. Well, I'm sure you know by now. So if you're done, like if you're actually done, I mean, you actually have to want to be done with the pain. I do want to point that out. I do remember reading The Power of Now, and he said, if peace is what you want, you would choose peace. He said, but if you look closely, people don't want to give up the pain because it's so intrinsically intertwined with how they see themselves. And to give up the pain would mean to give up who they are, who they think they are. So that is an important step, a very important step. Like maybe you should think about that for a little while. Am I done chasing reflection? Am I done with these patterns, with going from one phase, going from one phase in a relationship to another one, creating the same dynamic from our own patterns, and then again and again and again, living in fear and constant worry of when does the next shoe drop. I've been here before, okay? And when you start returning to what it is that you are, the stillness, right? It's the most powerful state of being that you can be in because it is actually what you are. It's God. And I also want to remind you that we get on these channels sometimes and we get inspired, right? We find these little quick fix affirmations and we're like, I'm God. I'm this. I'm creator of my world. And it's like, well, I want you to know that the mind doesn't know what that means. Like, and let's just say, well, if you found out that you were God and you're still struggling, still returning to old story that we're keeping current, still reacting, still living in anxiety, still overthinking, do you really believe that you're God? Or do you intellectually think that it's possible because we're all consciousness, but you don't really know what that means? Because I can assure you the mind doesn't know what that means. It can kind of intellectually understand it. Like it makes sense. Oh yeah, we're all connected. But like Lao Tzu said, the Tao, like God, the Tao that can be told is not the eternal Tao. It's not something that can be talked about or intellectualized. It can only be understood. It can be felt. And you're going to do that when you return back to what you are through stillness. Because you're never more yourself than when you're still. Okay? Now, the thing about being still, like I was mentioning earlier, is that like what's unconscious? These stored emotions. These beliefs that we may not know that we have, right? They're going to come up. They are. And it's because they can't survive in the light. They can only survive in your unconsciousness. Now, it's a little scary. It is. It's a little scary because it's all you know. But when you think about living in this world of, I don't want this, but I am this. I don't want pain, but I am pain. I don't want to be abandoned, but I am abandoned. And saying we don't want something, but also identify with it, and not knowing what to do to and how to give it up, or even if we want to, right? Well, I can let you know that the identity itself, the parts of the identity that are stuck, that seem stuck, it doesn't want to give it up. It doesn't. You have to be bigger than that. Okay? You actually have to give it up. You can't let this little identity run the show because it doesn't want change. It's going to perceive everything. It's going to try to give you thoughts that are, I guess, worthy of your attention, so you identify with it again, right? Think about it in your experience. You've been able to tell a new story. You've been able to even probably walking around feeling like you're bossed up for a little while. And your identity will let you do that for a little while until you get too comfortable over there. Then it's like, hey, we don't do that. And then it starts thinking some things. It's like, yeah, but person isn't texting me, or but this person isn't doing this, and this actually isn't happening. I don't have these things, and this happened last time. And then you buy it. But it lets you do it for a little while. But it's just back and forth, because the identity does not want change. And if it was so simple as just saying, I'm God now, then why are we still struggling? It's because the mind doesn't know what that means. And all it does is just add another layer of ego to this mind-made self, this thing that you're not, thought, okay? So we want to start to reset everything. Now, this is not for everybody. I mean, it is everybody. You are stillness, you are God, you are presence, you are consciousness, right? But like, some people are not going to be ready to give up the pain. That's how it goes, right? They're still God. Doesn't take anything away from them, but it's not for everybody. It is for people who are actually done with pain and ready to emerge their true self. That's always been there underneath the noise. Okay, so first step, we want to actually start regulating our nervous system. And you don't have to take up beliefs, like I said. You don't have to switch thoughts to other thoughts that are more desirable. No, you're going to want to start inner body awareness. Okay, this is the temple. This is the ultimate I don't abandon myself move. This is the ultimate return home move. Okay, so what that looks like is you're going to put some attention in your hands. You feel the aliveness, that subtle energy, that aliveness in the hands. Feel it in your chest, right? Your legs, head, everywhere, right? But like, just start with your hands. And you're going to keep some attention in your inner body for most of the day, as much as you can, because what you're going to do is you're going to pretty much reclaim consciousness from the mind, where all the story, where all the pain, where all the things just keep feeding themselves over and over again. And it feeds the emotion. Emotion feeds the thought. Feeds the emotion. Emotion feeds the thought, right? Reacting, overthinking. I'm anxious. What's going to happen? Regret, right? We're going to get out of the story that keeps these stories playing. And we're going to start to regulate our system, because once we start doing that, we're going to tell our body that we're actually safe and that it's okay. And then in your normal day, when you start to feel triggered, or maybe some thoughts and cause some emotion, or maybe the emotions come out of the blue because they're stored, because again, when you start to become more conscious and still, whatever's unconscious is going to come up and try to ruffle, right? But it's not to be identified with, it's to be looked at, felt in the body. Feel the emotions, don't resist them, don't react to them, don't come up with story as to where they came from, why they're there, who's responsible. No, you feel it. The mind's going to want to make story. That's what it does. Okay, but this is a little bitty mind, Okay, and you're going to feel the emotions, feel the sensations, and then it will dissipate. And you do this over and over again. And in your normal day where you normally react, or where you normally have a story about so-and-so and this and that, you pretty much are dropping it all. And you're going to keep your attention in your body. Focus on conscious breathing as well. That's also a form of the feeling the inner body, right? Because when you're breathing, you're present. And presence is power. Presence is who you are, or what you are. Okay? And the faster, I'm not trying to teach speed here for you, but the faster that you're able to do this and actually get out of these stories, actually get out of this fear, the anxiety, right? By not fighting, not resisting, but actually feeling the inner body, being more still, then the faster these identities that have created all these things out here that you say you don't want, that have you anxious watching video after video, that got you in a whole nother habit of watching video after video, have got you in habits of looking for things that and the whole time saying that I know they're here, but where are they at, right? Saying I know I'm creator, but why is this happening? And then playing victim, right? We're going to get out of all this momentum, all this chaos, and we're going to just practice our inner body awareness and our stillness, okay? This is how you find out that you're God. It's not by me telling you, it's not by anyone telling you, it's something that can be understood and felt, and the mind can't conceptualize it. God cannot be conceptualized. So anytime that you're in a self-concept or working on a self-concept, you are not God. I mean, you are, but I think you know what I mean. You're still playing an identity, still playing very small. Because if it can be conceptualized, then it is not the eternal. Okay? So, again, this is for people who are done chasing reflection. The surface level mindset, change your mindset, change your life stuff. Like, this is actually what you are. And it's a journey on its own, right? But like, if you're done with the pain, then it's time to build a house with solid foundation. And that solid foundation is a regulated nervous system. Give yourself a chance. Right? Like, how are you really liking and enjoying the chase, the fear, the toxicity, the worry, the doubt, the, oh, I'm good, I'm bossing up, I'm this, oh, no, I suck. Like back and forth, react, regret, back and forth. You probably would say no. Right? That you really don't want that. But the identity does, because that's how it survives. So that's why we keep getting tricked. Is because, yeah, who would want that? Right? Like Eckhart Tolle quote where he says, no one is consciously insane. Because the ways that we're living, if we're chasing, especially if we say we believe in law and it's inside first, outside second, and then we're chasing things, trying to manipulate things, like, do we really believe? Or are we just addicted to reaffirming how we see ourselves? Like, but think about it, like to believe in law and then live the opposite. To say I know it's mine and then tell stories that it's not. To say I don't want pain and then all you do is traumatize yourself in thought and resisting emotion and creating shitty meanings to the outside. It's insane. Okay? So that means it's unconscious, because again, no one is consciously insane. So we're going to bring some consciousness to what's unconscious. We're going to do that by calling it forth. It has to come up. When you start conscious breathing, when you start doing inner body awareness, you can even do body scans, like on your bed or on the couch, something like to just scan your inner body, from your hands to your elbows, your shoulders, your face, your head, legs, right? When you start doing these things, what is unconscious is going to come up. That's why I say it's not for the people that want to remain in the dark. It's for the ones who are ready for the light, actually ready. Right? So it's going to come up. And when it does, it's going to be really inviting to jump back on old story. Even when I preach things like just a thought, when people try that, like You're like, oh, it worked, and then it became overwhelming. And it's like, yeah, because the mind's trying to get you to identify with it, because you have been. And it comes up with very clever ways. But whatever is coming up, you're going to not take the bait. You're going to keep your focus on your breathing, on your inner body awareness. I don't care if you have to just stop and just start trying to reset like that. Whatever you have to do when it comes to not buying into the thought and getting back into the, I don't mean whatever you have to do, but it's like getting back into the body instead of not buying into thought. Like, it's going to be a game changer for you. You're going to start regulating your nervous system. You are going to find within a couple days, you'll find a whole different baseline. You'll find yourself not reacting to things that you normally would react to, not telling stories or being even interested in, and the stories that you used to be interested in, telling all the time and creating all this meaning. People are going to start treating you different. They feel more safe, more peaceful around you. Now, I'm not saying sometimes there's not a little purge, little purge. Maybe there's some what could be perceived as not ideal, but still stay in your inner body. Don't create meaning. Let these things pass, because it's just reshaping to you. It's recalibrating. Right? So it's worth it. Most importantly, because it is who you are, what you are. But it is only for people that are ready, honestly. And yeah, so the rest of the day, focus on today and put some attention in your inner body. Focus on conscious breathing. Get the idea, if you're ready, like get the idea out of your head, like put it back in the body. Get the idea out of the head of, I need my thing fast. This is a dysregulated nervous system. It's not what you are. It's a nervous system that does not feel safe. It's scared, right? It's got a lot of quote unquote evidence out there that is proof of this, and even if it's not, it's imagined as so as a threat. So even from the manifestation standpoint, if you want what it is that you say you want, and you can't stop spiraling, and you can't stop doing this, and you can't stop reacting, I live in anxiety, I live in fear, and this person's doing this, and I write down my affirmations all the time, and I get it, I've been there. But how long you want to do it? Because again, it's not what you are that wants to do this, it's your little identity that wants to do this, so it stays alive. And when you start getting more present, bringing attention into your inner body, this identity cannot survive. So that means what these things out, or the things out there that were created from this identity, have to drop and turn into you. The new you. The you that's always been underneath the noise. This isn't a change them game. This isn't a change that game. And I'm not going to be, like with the channel, I will talk about SP sometimes, but like kind of like I always do, like trying to bring it back to you. But I'm stepping into a new depth in my own experience, in my life, and yeah, in my experience here, right? And I believe that you all should get your SPs and you all should get your money and things like that. But you are so much greater than that. They're just reflections of you. That's it. Everything is. So why try to chase that? Why chase the reflection? Why try to force it with affirmations? Why try to get the quick fix that never really was a quick fix, and it never fixed anything at all? First of all, because there was nothing ever broken, but it was all surface level, and it didn't change anything about the nervous system. The meaning still stayed the same. We still needed safety from somebody. Like how long do we want to do that? So I'm like moving forward in the sense of just teachings of the presence-based identity, and after that we'll do another ebook and things like that. But as far as the surface-based mindset, do this, get that, I'm probably going to take a step away from that, a couple steps away from that, because it's not what I truly believe in. Like, you can get these things, you can get your person, you can get all these things, but like what you actually are is what you actually want to experience. You just think that they have it. So I look forward to tomorrow's video, or let's do Wednesday's video, on the identity beneath thought, right? But this is a good primer to the book. Regulate your nervous system. Spend now, and then when you wake up tomorrow, do the same thing, and then yeah, then we'll do the other, or we'll do the first page / chapter of the ebook, Presence-Based Identity, because that's what we're doing now. Okay, and I love you guys. You deserve to remember who you are and what you are. Oh, that chasing the mirror thing is a thing of the past. All right, I love you. I'll see you soon.